The next question is about, well, guitars. What was your first guitar, and what equipment do you use now?
First guitar, it was a Fender Squier P-bass, real balsa wood body, like really trash. But it was like pearl white. I loved it. It was cool. And I got that when I was like 12. And then I've gone through, I don't know, couple basses since then. And now I mostly play G&Ls. And as on stage, and anywhere but Poland, I typically have like an SVT VR, which is like a vintage reissue. And just an 8x10 Ampeg cab, and then for pedals I have like, a delay, a big muff, and a Sansamp bass driver, and those things, that's the key. The Sansamp bass driver DI, that's my, I'll play on anything as long as I have that. So that's my, and mine and a lot of other people's secret weapon.
The next question is, do you think that today's concert will be better than the one you gave in Progressia some months ago?
The one with Meshuggah?
Yes, again with Meshuggah.
Ah, man. That show was great. It's hard to say because, I remember that show really vividly, and I remember it just being so hot. And, like, the Meshuggah guys were up there just, like, drenched in sweat. And, I sweat, like, 2 songs in, I look like I jumped in a pool. It just, like, comes out of me. So it's hard to say. I hope it's a better show. I hope the kids think it's a better show. But personally, I really enjoyed that, like the intensity of that show, because it was like, again, like dark club show. And when we're playing, especially when Meshuggah plays before us, we have to like, step up our game a little bit. It kind of like really pushes us in a different way. So but tonight it's different too, because now we have to play before them and make sure that, like, people remember us in like a sportsmanish kind of way. There are good friends, but we are out. Yeah, for those 40 minutes when we're on stage, we. You want to be the best. Yeah, of course. That's the attitude, right?
Right, exactly. And now the last question. If you had to give any advices to Polish readers of the Guitarist magazine and to bass players, what would it be?
Practice. Slowly. Fast is just slow sped up. That's, I don't know. It's a pretty cliche thing, but I think a lot of people think it just happens. It happens painfully, abysmally slow. Yeah, it's and not. I think the other piece of advice, kind of going back to your question about influence, is it doesn't just. You don't have to just pull your influence from music and from playing. You can practice without your instrument. And like I'm really into yoga. And in the last, since we recorded Ironworks, I've just gotten more and more into yoga, and I've noticed how much my yoga practice influences my practice on my instrument, and vice versa. And one example would just be like breathing. I noticed that like when Dillinger would play really hard things, I would hold my breath, and now with yoga I noticed that, because you have to hold your breath in these poses, or you're not supposed to hold your breath. So in these poses, you're in these uncomfortable positions, and you have to learn how to breathe anyway. So when you practice that, now when I get on stage and I know that like hard things are coming, or when I feel my hands just like, starting to cramp, I just consciously, step back and try to just like breathe through my nose, and and just kind of remember that there's all these, there are other things going on, and you can really draw your influence, from the crowd, from, there is energy around you. Now I'm starting to sound like, a hippie, but like, it's true, I think it's true that there is this, energy that's going and coming from, and there again, like that club show, it's like there's these passionate, all condensed, whereas in here, it's like, I don't know, it's light, everybody's spread out. It just sounds like an echo chamber, who knows? But, we'll see. It's going to be the same Dillinger show, whether it's 5 or 500 kids, we still do our thing.
So basically yoga, practicing, and search for new inspirations. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, you too.
And see you on the stage.